Somebody has to recognize that, yes, there is a problem.
We are the 4 people in a county of over 700,000 people that determine cause and manner of death.
Our population is continuing to grow, and with that growing population comes more deaths.
Is becoming a challenge that we need to let the public know about in order to better service them.
It's rare to get these 4 Williamson County Justice of the Peace and judges in the same room. On the bench, they're hearing eviction and truancy cases, handling debt claims, and they're marrying people. They sat down with KXAN investigator Arzo Dost and tells us what's happening outside their courtrooms with death investigations has them concerned.
When I left, he was fine. He was laughing, he was joking, everything was fine. And when I come home, he's not breathing.
That's the last memory Cindy Dennis Pollard has of her dad.
He loved everybody. He trusted everybody.
Bob Dennis died almost 5 years ago. Dennis Pollard, who lives in Bertram, says it was tough coping with his death. But what was even harder was not knowing how he died. She says it took 8 months to get his autopsy back. And that entire time,
my dad was in a freezer at the funeral home around the street from my house. Every day I drove to work, I would have to pass my dad.
In Williamson County, these 4 Justice of the Peace judges determine cause and manner of death because the county doesn't have a medical examiner.
You're pronouncing whether or not it was a homicide, a suicide, an accidental death, or of natural causes. And any unattended death is one that will come to the Justices of the Peace.
If a case needs further investigation, for instance for toxicology and identification purposes, they request an autopsy, which then either goes to a local private forensics firm or the medical examiner's office in neighboring Travis County, which the judges say can mean a wait of 6 to 9 months.
That's hard on the families. They're, kind of in limbo, and they don't have a final cause of death. They don't. They're not able to maybe get life insurance or close out some accounts without that final death certificate. So they're depending on us to get the job done.
The judges admit the job is getting harder and harder to do.
We each cover the entire county for a full week.
On an average, we usually have 20 to 30 deaths within a week.
Do you feel you're qualified to determine cause and manner of death?
We have no medical training. None of us have any kind of medical training. So to answer your question, do we feel we're qualified? We feel that what's required of us, we're doing the job we're asked to do, but we're definitely not a doctor.
The judges say as Williamson County continues to grow, it means more deaths and more complex cases. It's why they've been pushing for the county to have its own medical examiner's office. Data KXAN obtained shows the number of death investigations conducted by Williamson County Justice of the Peace judges has increased by 120% in the past decade, from around 460 cases annually to more than 1,000.
The majority of Texas counties, 254 counties, many of which are small enough that a Justice of the Peace system can manage that system. But Williamson County is no longer in that category. In fact, we're at the exact opposite end of that, with nearing 700,000 people, and we are now the largest county without a medical examiner in the state of Texas.
Texas law says a county with a population of 2.5 million must have a medical examiner, but the Commissioner's Court may establish one at any time. We asked the county why an ME's office hasn't already been created, and we were referred to the law. A spokesperson adding, county commissioners have not discussed the issue publicly, so they have no comment.
We have to have somebody that's willing to step up and say, we have to start making those plans. We have to start figuring out where we're going to put it. We have to start figuring out how we're going to fund it.
Right now, the county covers the cost of an autopsy, which the judges say can run up to $3,500.
And that's money that, when you multiply that by each office, is $2 million that's going out of the door each year.
The judges estimate an initial cost of $10 million to create an ME's office and an annual cost comparable to what the county currently pays to send autopsies elsewhere. But they say the investment would bring expertise locally, and with the county's growing population, it'll eventually be required.
We had a very small memorial with no ashes, no body.
Dennis Pollard says the months her family had to wait for the autopsy were grueling. She says when they did get her dad's death certificate, which she shared with us, it said manner of death could not be determined.
He wanted his organs donated. He wanted to help someone else, but after being in a freezer for 8 months, that was not possible.
Arzo Dos, KXAN investigates.
The judges say they're feeling the impact across their courtrooms too, with more cases and having to leave hearings when they get that call that someone has died. Last month, they, along with County Commissioner Valerie Covey, traveled to Fort Bend County in the Houston area to tour its medical examiner office and get a better understanding of how it was funded. Commissioner Covey says she anticipates the creation of an ME's office will come up during budget discussions later in March. The judges tell us data shared with them by a lawmaker shows that nearly 20 counties across the state either have an ME's office or are in the process of getting one. Now, Arzo also talked with the Williamson County Sheriff, who says he's seeing an impact on his office too. To read more, head to KXAN.com and click on this story in investigative section. This story started as a tip. If you have something we should investigate, let us know. Email us at report@kxan.com.